The numbers come as one of the heads of a body of epidemiologists advising the province is calling for a strict lockdown in parts of the province. The Ontario COVID-19 Science Advisory Table says a lockdown from Toronto to Niagara Falls is necessary to stem the explosive growth of variants of concern. It's also urging school boards to move to remote learning and only essential businesses should remain open. With more, I'm joined by Dr. Peter Juni. He is the professor that is calling for this lockdown. He's with the University of Toronto and the director of the Ontario Science Advisory Table. Dr. Juni, good morning. Glad you could be with us. We got a lot to talk about. First, so I want to get your thoughts on the case count today. Just over 1,500 cases, about the same as yesterday.
Yes, we're tracking, we're just on this trajectory of the third wave, and this continues just to happen as it was predicted, actually. Yeah.
Predicted. Okay. So your call for another lockdown when most places are still in lockdown certainly raised a few eyebrows yesterday. Can you give us your reasoning as to why you think the Golden Horseshoe specifically should enter a lockdown that, as you said, is more restricted than ones we've seen in the past?
Yeah, I think, the first thing is we need to breathe here. It's all not that exciting news, but we can absolutely do that. So the point is that the new variants are just more transmissible, about 40%. And we know from what happened in January that the new variants of concern were relatively unimpressed by our lockdown attempt in January. So they continue to grow merrily. And that's the problem. If we want to get them under control and just gain a little bit of time so that the vaccines can kick in, that we have a bit more time for the vaccine rollout, then we just need to do things slightly differently. And we don't have to panic now, not at all, but we just need to face the music. It's probably inevitable. I hate to be the bearer of bad news there, but what we're seeing is if we just are smart now and just change attitude and go back to the way we locked down a year ago, one more time, and just focus on the areas that actually are in trouble right now, and that's really predominantly the Golden Horseshoe, then we probably get the things under control again. And we're just talking about a few weeks. This is not again months and months and months, and it's not again that we don't know where we're going. We know exactly where we're going. The problem is that we now are just in the middle of this minefield, and we just need to tread very carefully, and we can't get out of it just with vaccination. That's impossible.
People, as you know well, have COVID fatigue, and they're becoming numb to the messaging, I think, in some cases. So how do you convince people, first of all, that it will only be 3 weeks and that this is the way to go?
So, look, first of all, we're just advising, and I'm just thinking aloud here. When I look at the numbers, unfortunately, it's inevitable. The point now is this is really, and this is not just, a pretense or so, this is really one more time, period. There is no more to come. We're now well on the way with the vaccine rollout, and I continue to believe that this will, just be okay also during the next few weeks. That's all great news. The point is now just that we can't ignore the facts. The virus doesn't care that we're tired, and we just need to do once more the right thing. What is important here is not the entire province is affected the same way. And that's also good news, for instance, for people in Ottawa. Ottawa is struggling much less with the new variant. This doesn't mean it's not coming. It will come. It's inevitable, but it will take a bit longer, which helps too. The main problem we have now is GTA and Golden Horseshoe. And I know I'm tired too. I really, really think we just need to acknowledge, yes, it's painful, but we just need a little bit more time.
But doctor, people region hop, and they go to these places where the restrictions are less.
That's one of the problems. We had these leaky lockdowns before. We were too soft in January. If you want to know how lockdowns work and that it works, go to Ireland. Look at the stats in Ireland. The Irish, after they really just messed it up over Christmas, did the right thing after that and had a really hard lockdown that also meant that people would not leave their homes anymore and really stay put in the places they are. And we call this leaky lockdowns, the fact that people move from region to region. And what they do basically is they just continue merrily to reintroduce and introduce the variant. That's not what we want.
Dr. Peter Juni, glad you could be with us. And you have coined a new phrase, a leaky lockdown. I'm going to use that one. Thank you, doctor. We'll see you again soon.